Hello, hello. I will get started in just a minute. Feel free to say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from. Hey, gotta leave. Super happy to see you. How's everything going up there? Um, we've had like a really warm winter since I got here in Plovdiv, Bulgaria, but now it decided to act like winter. Like it's been 13 degrees and so sunny and so nice, but today the temperature dropped, so it's feeling like winter. Um, so I just kind of stayed inside most of the day feeling cozy. And so I thought I would just break from the winter vibes and make something fun and make some glitchy flowers. So we're just going to get started here in a second. And yeah, it's just super easy, super relaxed. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to make some flowers like this with just a few Photoshop brushes. For this one, I literally, excuse me, I think I'm like burping today. I don't know why. I think I used 3 Photoshop brushes to make the sample flower. So I'm just going to kind of recreate this and show you how I made this. And then I'm going to maybe make some more. I think I will like to continue to work on sort of a glitch cord garden and play with that and then maybe make some artwork with it. Hey, Linda, super happy that you could join. And oh, the volume. Okay, let me check my volume. Sorry. Yes. Oh, hello. Okay. I think I'm wondering, is anybody else having a problem with the volume? Just let me know. Let me just make sure that my input is, oh, let's hear it. Input, external microphone. Okay. Tammy, so okay. Tammy, you're having a hard time with the volume. Okay, but Linda, you can hear okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go with it and hope everything is okay. But oh, it's better. Oh, that's so weird. Tammy, are you watching from Facebook or from Behance? Oh no, you're writing on Behance, so you're watching from Behance. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind, but thank you for letting me know. So with this flower, I thought it was fun. It's kind of like I don't know, like a Tim Burton sort of crazy flower vibe. And I didn't really have any reference. I just, Behance, oh, slow internet. Are you out in the country, Tammy? I'm curious. But last year I was doing like live streams from my aunt's place and just, oh my gosh, the internet was quite slow. That's the struggle is definitely real there. So, country girl, yeah, yes. I'm like, I come from Branson, Missouri, so I can't be too fancy over here. All right, so I'm just gonna use this for reference and then make a new, I'm gonna go window, arrange, two up vertical. All right, so we'll have our little flower for reference. And I'm gonna show you how I made a little pretty flower like this with 3 Photoshop brushes, so easy. Um, yeah, just letting the brushes do all the work. But I kind of like that it's like no flower in nature. You know, I love making up flowers. I remember I get a lot of inspiration from fashion and stuff, and I love how they show the behind the scenes of the Chanel haute couture shows, and they're always making those flowers that are going all over their dresses with tulle and all these things. And you know, they were saying, I remember them always saying, like, you know, this was back when Karl Lagerfeld was doing it, but it was these, you know, these flowers that don't exist in nature, and that's what I like to do. So I, you know, not using any reference really necessarily, just kind of out of my imagination and see what happens. But if you ever do need some ideas or maybe just a jumping off point to start from, I usually just pop over to Pinterest and I'll search like floral illustrations, and then it kind of, you know, I kind of look at how people are interpreting shapes. of different flowers, and it can just give me a jumping off point, to kind of, a jumping off point, and then I go and do my own version of that or something. So, it's not like you have to be derivative. It just gives you, that's why we all get inspiration, is sometimes we get a jumping off point. And mainly I'm going to be using my Glitchcore collection and the Glitchcore brushes. They're so much fun. They're really wild, and I really love embracing the glitchiness of them. And I've already done like florals with them before. There's a lot of different ways to do florals. I think it's really cool. I've done them on a couple of, like here, I've done one. I've done them already on a couple live streams. So you can really just have fun with that and mix them with other brushes. But today I'm going to mainly stick to the Glitch Core. So to start off with, I've got this dark green background, which I like to use with this Glitch Core color palette. And the Glitch Core brushes have the multicolor blends like that I've already created for them. So let me just open my color palette a little bit. And I'm going to have to do a little clean on my computer because my Photoshop's been a little bit sluggish lately, or maybe it's just my I don't know. It's been a little sluggish, I feel, lately. So yeah, so I'm going to use the fun Glitchcore colors that I've already created, the color palettes or color blends for these multicolor brushes that I've already created for you. And I love doing these Glitchcore, using these palettes because I don't have to think about the colors. I just know that they're going to look fun. I sampled them from a bunch of different things. And so I can just grab and go, play, just be crazy with them. So that is the fun of that. So, yeah, so we're going to do the, you know what, Linda? I did update my flippin' Photoshop. I usually try to wait a little bit before I update, but I did update my Photoshop on the last update, which was a couple days ago. So, or maybe it was last week. Oh, that just drives me nuts though. Sometimes, I don't know, I always want to update it straight away because I'm thinking maybe that there's a little glitch or something that will go a little bit better. But I swear every time, it's like you're much more likely to get some kind of glitch or, bug or something like that. So yeah, that is the struggle. All right, so which brush was I starting with here? Let's take my reference. Okay, so we're starting right here. This is brush 64. And before I just get into everything, I'm gonna pop open my, previews for the Glitch Core, get them off my brush charts. And I know I have it in here. There we go. Always good to have a little reference, although half of the time I'm just grabbing a brush and start brushing and see what happens, Sometimes I don't have the patience, but so yeah, I did a pretty good job on this brush chart. It pretty much shows you how the brushes go. All right, so we're doing our multicolor brush method. So if you're not familiar, check down below. I got a link for the foundation tutorial. Pattern stamp tool, make sure impressionist is checked. I'm going to pick out a cool color blend. So I will pick this pink and purple and orange. And then I'm going to grab from the Glitch Core brush number 64. And yeah, I really did do this, the flower with 3 brushes. So that's not, okay, 4 including the little stars at the top, but whatever. And I was actually happy, like I wasn't sure how to handle the stem and stuff, but I kind of love what I did down here with like some little things. I just think it makes it look really fun. So what I'm going to do is just draw the few brush strokes like that you see here as the pink base. And part of the fun of the Glitch Core brushes is that some of them I turned off the the direction on the brush. So it will have a different brush stroke come out no matter, depending on the angle that you brush at. So if I brush straight down, you're going to have something like this. If I brush like this, you know, it's going to be different each time. So keep that in mind. Of course, and that is actually contributing because of the I mean, I wanted that effect because the whole idea of the brush collection is glitch core. So I wanted it to have those glitchy things where you're moving it and it's not 100% going with you. Because if I go to my, like, let's see if I go to the shape dynamics and I do put my angle jitter onto direction, then it's always going to look like this, but it's not necessarily going to be so glitchy. But if I turn that off, then you see when I'm going different directions, it's got that glitch going on. So just a little reasoning why I did that. And of course, they're pressure sensitive, so you can, you know, play with the pressure, and sometimes the brush stroke doesn't exactly come out the way I want, and so I will just do it, you know, do it again. And yeah, so I'm just going to kind of go like that, I like how I did there, and just play with building that idea of that flower kind of, you know, coming off like the bottom part of a flower. So that's cool. And of course, you know, we're getting those gorgeous multicolor brush strokes. So I think honestly that's enough for that base. Let me just put it down here a little bit. And then of course, like if I zoom in, we can see all those gorgeous color transitions that are happening within the brush. So all those beautiful multicolors that we didn't have to do because the brush does it for us. So I'm going to make a new layer and do the pattern stamp tool still. And then I did do, the next part was the little balls, and that was brush number 94. And so I'm just going to change the color palette. And in this case, I'm going to do different colors that I did over here, so it looks a little bit different. And maybe I will get, let's see what we got here. Got some fun rainbow ones. Look at that little wheel ball, little turning ball of death. That's freaking mental. I need to do something a little cleanse on my machine or something, but I have a suspicion that it has to do with the Photoshop update, to be fair. Let's hear. Okay, I'm just going to pick a blue color palette. There are no right and wrong answers. So, and then of course, if I just barely touch, you know, here you can see the, you know, the brush in action. I think this is 94. Yeah, no, that's 90. 94 is the one I used. So if I do like a light pressure, it can not fill in all the way, but then I can just keep, you know, just kind of wiggling it back and forth to make that nice little circle. But I kind of want to have a little bit of transparency in there. So I'm kind of just barely tapping it and kind of playing with that. But you know what? I don't love where those are. So let me move those a little bit. And yeah. And let's just, that's good enough, whatever. You can play around, but or it doesn't have to be perfect. So, and even, you know what, even proportionally, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'm just going to take up the size a little bit because I made this bigger. So, and you know, if you never need to change your brush size, you can just hit the right bracket. So let's just do this again. I just kind of want to like keep a little transparency there. So I'm just kind of barely touching and, you know, until it falls in, but I don't like that. Kind of want them to be snuggled here, kind of like I did there. Okay, close enough, whatever. Maybe I can do like, make it smaller, make a couple little extras. So we'll make this a little bit different than the one over there. So good enough, whatever. And if I wanted to, I could even take a different color palette and then just maybe do a little touch over them. Like just, you know, without changing the brush. So just kind of adds a little dimensionality or something. Although that pink is just a little bit gaudy, but although my stuff is generally, let's work non-destructively. I'll make a new layer here and maybe make it pink and orange. But my stuff is, you know, generally a little bit maximalist, but you know, we're going with it. Okay. So good enough. So there's that part. And now I'm going to make these little streaks here with a different brush. And I will go to my bottom layer and I'm going to make a new layer above that. And I believe that was brush number 36. And let's see what we got going on here. Yeah, I think it's 36. So let's scroll here. We got 36. And I just used, I actually used this fun little sort of kind of a rainbow. I might use, yeah, I think I'll use the same one though. I like how it, I like the rainbow sort of effect. It didn't really make any sense as a, doesn't really make any sense, but I don't care. I think it's just fun. And here's a little preview of that brush in action. So let me just zoom in here, just a touch so you could see it. So this one is quite glitchy, quite wild, but it's got a little bit more directional control. And also you can have those kind of little sort of feathery bits kind of coming off there. And you can use the light pressure, and it's not, when you use the light pressure like I did up here, and then you can, you know, see those individual sort of threads or whatever going. But it's a fun little brush. And of course, look at all the craziness that happens when you do a little swirl or twirl. You can do, and then what's fun about this brush is that, like, if I go counterclockwise, we get this really wild effect, which that could just be a flipping flower right there. I mean, I could turn that into a flower. That's gorgeous. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. But maybe with a different color palette. But okay, so that's counterclockwise. But then if I do it clockwise, we've got a whole other glitchy sort of effect that's going on. Of course, I can go like this, and you see all the glitches happening, but it's a different effect. So, okay, I've got to remember I'm going to make another flower with just that 36. Absolutely gorgeous. And a little tip with the Glitchcore brushes is I don't have the transfer on with these, like which really, you know, affects the opacity. But if you ever want to kind of play around with the opacity, you can just click transfer, and then you just, I don't have the opacity jitter on. I just have float, wait, no, transfer, opacity jitter. We don't want anything. We want 0, 0 off. Flow jitter, I'll put 0 jitter, so 0 jittering, but the control is the pen pressure. And then if you do it, you can get some kind of a little bit of transparency, more transparency in the brush stroke. It's just, I didn't really think it was needed necessarily for the main brush. So, but just a little tip if you know you want to have a play with it, or you might want to achieve a certain sort of effect. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I'm too close to see what's going on. And no, you know what? I want something yellow and bright. So let's stick with, or maybe this one. I'm just, something more yellow. And what's fun is even if you tap these Glitchcore, just tap them a little bit, you're just going to get little glitches and stuff, like little fun things. So you can always just have kind of a field day with that. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly draw in some things, but I would kind of like to see okay, I'm just going to draw them in. And it's funny because you can see how the stroke is more smooth going on this direction. But if I go over here, it does like a little funny sort of glitchy. It doesn't do the same smooth stroke, but finally I like I like the effect anyway. I think it's cool. So it's quite wild. And although maybe I'll just leave it at, let's leave it at that. It's so glitchy and fun. And then, I just redo it until I get it fine. And what I did do was I put a little bit, I thought it would be fun to kind of just have a little bit extra drama. So I put just a little bit of a drop shadow just on that part. And I used an overlay drop shadow. So, which I think looks good on lighter colors and stuff. So I have some saved in my styles panel. It's just a drop shadow, but rather than sending the blend mode to multiply, especially if you're working with like light, bright colors, the multiply can kind of dull them a little bit. I'll put it on overlay, and then I'll just put it like the opacity quite down, and then maybe the size up a little bit. But that just adds a little bit of drama there. And so I'm just going to save this, and I'll put it as one demo. Okay. And also what I did is, so I'm going to make a new layer. Above that is fine. And then I just wanted some of the same sort of brush strokes coming out the top. So I will get a totally different color palette. In this case, I might get one of these blue greens or blue yellows, like there. And then I might take the brush size down just a little bit. And I just had, yeah, was this? Oh no, I must have used a darker color. Where's my darker? Maybe one of these. Because I like having that feeling that negative space there, and it like creates more drama in the thing. Which color palette did I use? I don't know. I guess one of these. And I'm just thinking, trying to see how I got them so light. Like with my, let's see here. I think it's just that I might have used like a darker one or something because it's looking like it's not so filled in. Well, that's all right. But anyway, just something like that. Just some little crazy what have you. There is no rules. And then what I might do is just on my little ball things, where are they? I could even put a little shadow. Okay, did I just turn off something? No, I don't really need the shadow there. Okay, so good enough. Anyway, you get the idea. And so that was the main, the main part of my little crazy doesn't exist in nature flower. And then I still took, so then I wanted to make this stem, and I kind of really, because this is so wild and crazy, I didn't want to have the stem to be too bright, trying to kind of, even if it's maximalist, I'm still trying to, follow kind of the design principles of, some contrast. So if this is, you can't have everything being bright and crazy. So, let's see. Just checking my comment there. It was just a hey. I forgot. And some sort of spam from Twitch. I hadn't had my Twitch turned on in a while. Oh yeah, so I was talking about having this like stem here, and I really wanted to have that multicolored glitchy effect. So I didn't want to put just a one color brush because it looked quite weird. But my one of my greens that I made here was too dramatic. So I'm just going to show you in action. It was just this brush number 36. But I was picking this green that I already had for this Glitch Core collection, but it was too bright. I really needed it to be like faded and not as not so much difference in the colors and everything. So what I did was I made a custom color palette. And if you want to know how to do your own custom color palettes, check the foundation tutorial below for the Impressionist method. And I just went over this in one of my last live streams, like, gosh, when was it? Oh, just not the last one, but the one before that. So I showed you some of my tips and tricks of making my own color blends. But basically, I just took a brush and put uh, the color dynamics on just a little bit and had a little bit of brightness and a little bit of um, brightness and saturation. And I started with that green from the background. And so that way I got a really chill color blend. So also I will, let's see here, you didn't save them. I'm annoyed. Okay. So I just turned off my Photoshop, and that's so funny because it like didn't save those. Normally it always saves the color palettes, but I think when I just restarted that, like when your brushes go missing or it reverts back to a brush. So I think it didn't save my last changes in my color palette. So I'm just gonna go here. Good thing I saved them, and I'm gonna hit Command M, which is my keyboard shortcut, but for edit define pattern, and I'll just put new green. And then I also did this one. I'll hit edit define pattern, new green too, but you don't have to name them. Normally I don't. And then let's go here. Okay, so 36. So I'm gonna grab one of the colors that I just made. In this case, I think it was this one, and it's just chill. And so now I've got that glitchy sort of brush stroke, but it's not too much. So, but it still has the glitches so that it matches. So that's good. And then I'll make a new layer. I can make a new layer behind that. And then I'm going to go back to that brush number 64. So we only used 3 brushes. We're so proud of that. And I'm going to left bracket to take my brush size down. And I might take a darker, maybe, no, that's too dark. I'll just stick with this one that I had. And so then I just made those little things going out, like leaves sort of things going off the side. And no, that's too small. They were just, and they're not perfect. Sometimes I have to redo them a lot, redo them a bit until I get the brush stroke going just how I wanted it, But that's the fun of these, and also kind of like what I like to embrace about them, even if it's maybe not as, I just like the glitchy nature. So we've got those little leaf kind of things going off the side. And then we're going to go above that little stem thing that we made, and I'll make a new layer. And then we're going to just grab one of the tropical color palettes. So let's just I'm going to get an orangey one like here, and we're going to go for that 94. And I'm going to take my brush size down till it's pretty teeny tiny. But I just thought that was like so cute to do some little like I don't know, buds, I guess. And then I think I did take another brush for the, oh yeah, I went to 95, so I did use like 4 brushes in here. So to make these little pink ones, let's just zoom in there. That kind of looks like more of a flower. but it's just a single brush stroke. So if we go over here, and I'll just grab a little pink, more of a pink blend, and I just tap it like that in the direction up, and then we've just got a flower with one little stamp of a brush stroke. So super fun. And then I went ahead and even added like kind of some little supporting stems because we were going to be a little bit like kind of finalize it here. So I'm going to go back to that green that I made. Where is, oh, oh no, it's down here. I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is getting crazy. And then I'm going to go back to 36, which I could just go over here, but here they're hard to you know, here you can see your recent brushes, but when these are all using the bristle brush engine, so it's hard to, you know, decipher them. And then I'm going to make this brush like quite smaller, so I'm going to just take that, and I just made some little kind of strokes like that, like it was, like we're pretending that this is an actual sort of plant that exists in nature, even if it doesn't. So, let's just zoom out here. And we did an okay job. And so now we got this weird sort of fantasy, fun little plant. I'm going to make a new layer here. Oh, and the piece de resistance is I put my famous sparkles from this Cloud and Stars kit, which is in one of my tutorial toolkits, and I'm going to grab that little rainbow blend here and just put some little stars. It's so cute. It's crazy. And what I did to add a little bit of course, we could do like a lot more with this. But it's Monday and I'm going to be taking it easy today. But what I did was I like adding a little bit of this kind of texture behind like I did here. And I went ahead and used this watercolor brush from a couple tutorials ago. So it was from, from the 4th, and it was a nice watercolor brush, and I grabbed like I grabbed the blend of the green, and then I made it like a layer, and just, I like this. This is like a big soft brush, but I think it's cool, like playing around with a little bit of texture in the background. You know, you can use maybe a darker one. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Thanks so much, NH. Glad you like. So yeah, I used the darker one that I just did, just adding like a little bit extra of drama. And I was going, let's see, I think that's pretty much it, but I want to encourage you guys to play with those glitch core brushes. And let me just make a new layer over the top. And let me get some colors here. So there's a lot of these brushes that can be used, like, let's see here, what is this? I'm gonna have to start wearing my glasses. 34. There's just so many different ways that you can play with these brush strokes to make petals and stuff. Like this one is Flipping Wild. Let's see here. But you know, you can just like, you know, you can do it loose like this, you know, kind of have some things coming down, like it's kind of like one of those plants that have the top going up like an iris and then the bottom going down, you know, of course. Or you can always kind of draw your shape, like draw a petal, and then, you know, paint within those things, you know, paint within your shapes as well. But I like exploring the brushes and seeing how they come out. Let me see here. and then just kind of um, just imagining what I can do with it and how I could kind of turn it into a flower. So, even just a few brush strokes can be a flower like super easily. Um, that one's quite wild. Let's just 34. This one's even this one. Trying to get at a good zoom level here so we can kind of see some, kind of get the feel of it. Like this could just be like a petal in itself, kind of just playing with that. That's brush 37. Or you can just, I've done it before, like using something like this to make a petal, like more solid petal. This one's pretty wide brush, but it's fun to play with. Like this one has a lot of possibilities. 39, this one's a bit crazier. So, just have some fun with it, but I'm going to be using these a lot. That one's a bit wild. This is nice. You can just, I like, yeah, it looks kind of like, looks very digital, and you could just, this one you can make some brush shapes, just doing maybe 4 little dots there. And that could be like some petals, and then, you layer some things on top of it. So, just have fun with that. But I will continue to come up with some more ideas, and maybe I will continue the Glitch Core Garden and having some fun building, a whole garden of these flowers. I think it will be cool. So we're going to stop it there, keeping it short and sweet for today. And then I'm going to have my demo files available for the Behance subscribers. And then don't forget, if you are one of my subscribers, I believe that I think I'm all up to date with my live stream things that are my attachments. Okay, I just don't have the last one, but just always keep an eye out because I'm always attaching the files, usually a day after I do my live streams. So check that out. But hopefully I can give you guys some ideas and you can make your own version of it or have some fun with it. And I will be online tomorrow, and I have the schedule on my website. So thank you so much, Tammy, for tuning in, and Linda, and Gotta Leave, and who else? Yvonne and NH. So you guys have a good rest of your Monday, and I'm going to be scuttling off to bed here pretty soon. So I'll see you later.